Hey, so here I am in a class with myself, and I just wanted to show you some ways that you can use Google Meet to interact with your students. I'm going to start out just by checking the activities tab up here. See the activities button? There's a lot of options right in here. We can do breakout rooms, and I'm actually going to have a separate video on that. Let me show you a poll. I've actually already asked one poll here. What should we have for lunch? Let me end that poll and we'll do a new one. So I'm going to create a new poll. What's your favorite soda? All right. And then on my personal account, let me answer this poll. Oh, but you know what? Before I can do that, I have to do some options. So let's have Dr. Pepper. And let's keep it simple and just have two options. So we'll have Coca-Cola. And now I'm going to launch that poll. I could also save it for later if maybe I'm getting this meeting set up for later. All right. So now for my personal account, I have the option to vote here, and I'm going to vote for Coke. And you should see that. Yeah, there it is. You can see it pop up on the teacher screen over here. And I could show everyone in the class these results by clicking this button right here, toggling that option. Let me go ahead and end that poll. Another option that I have is questions and answers. Now you do have to enable this. If you haven't enabled it by clicking the allow questions, by default, they would not be allowed normally. And you can see earlier I asked, do we have any ketchup? So and I used my personal account for that. So the student in the class asked, do we have any ketchup? One thing you can do, and other participants in the meet can also, is upvote it, saying, yeah, I like this question. Maybe I have this question too. So that'll draw the teacher's attention to the question. The teacher can decide whether this question should be hidden or whether it should be visible or invisible to the other people in the meet. They can check it to say, yep, I've answered that one. And they can also delete it, which is an important ability. Again, from activities, I can record the meeting and I can open up a whiteboard. If I do this, I will get a Jamboard for my group to use. I'm going to choose to start a new Jamboard. I could open one from Drive, though, if I had one ready to go. Now, when I open this up, by default, it's going to give everybody who is in the meet edit access, but you can change that at any time. When you click send, they will all get an invitation to join that Jamboard, and then you have a collaborative whiteboard space where you can write together. It's also very easy to add captions to your meet. Just click on the button down here, and I'm going to talk a little bit more, and you can see, look at this. The captions are actually fairly accurate. They're doing a pretty good job here. Let's see. Now I'm going to take another second here and I'll join this from my iPad. When you're joining a Google Meet from your iPad, you can use the Google Meet app. You can use the calendar app. You can use the Gmail app. There's actually quite a few apps you can use to join a meet from your iPad. I'm just going to use the Google Meet app and type in this code. All right, you should see me joining in just a second. Okay, and now I have joined from my iPad as well. I currently have my camera turned off on my iPad just to save a little bit of bandwidth here, but you know what I do want to do is share my screen from my iPad. That's one of the options that you have. So now that I'm sharing my screen from my iPad, and you'll be able to see that in just a second, you could see what I am working on my iPad. And I love this for being able to show students what I am writing. So for example, my iPad's a little bit slower. This is a great way to mark up math problems and to show my notes on specific things. I love having just a whiteboard that I can write this way. So it's possible to share your screen from an iPad. Of course, it's also possible to share your screen from your computer by clicking the Present Now button. And remember, from your host settings, you can decide who is available, who is allowed to share screens within your Google Meet. One more feature, students have the ability to raise their hands within Google Meets, and I can see right now that Liz Johnson, that's my personal account, has raised her hand. I can also see that over here by clicking on this little people icon. And now, once I've answered Liz's question, I could lower her hand. But that's just a way that students can draw attention to a question or comment that they might want to make.